Welcome to my Extreme Hills Tournament rookie walkthrough video. In this video, I will walk you through the shots I will use and some of the possible alternatives. This is a guide and it is not meant as the absolute solution, but more like a starting place to begin your note-taking process and help you prepare for the tournament. Play according to your clubs, balls, and skill level, and please remember that this walkthrough does not feature the actual tournament wind we will see, and that will only be known once the tournament begins. And the last time I played these holes was near the very beginning of my Golf Clash tournament days. Many of the shots are not perfect and are not as exacting as I'm now accustomed to playing the game. However, the routes and explanations will not change much from this video to the tournament play. And finally, if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so now and hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any future Erelic gaming content. Let's get into it. The first hole of the tournament is a par 4 from the Eagle Peak course, which can be played a few different ways, and I'll show you two routes. The first is an overpower bomb down the right side fairway. Use a Titan ball or better with your extra mile, adjusting for 20% downhill and applying maximum topspin and maximum right spin. Beware that if your ball does not carry far enough, or if it lands too far left and not past the trees, your second shot might be impeded by those trees. And also be aware that rough on the right side is also in play. As you can see, we can clear those trees, so for the second shot it's played with a long iron, such as a Backbone, Goliath, or a Saturn here plays very nicely. There are some funnels on the screen, and backspin can be used to roll back down to the hole from the backside of the green, or you can simply go straight at the hole with a couple bars of backspin. This is a perfect example of a hole where the player should choose to play to the strengths in their game and their bag. So the second route that I would say is a bit more technical of a path and will depend more on the tournament wins if I pick this route or not, is to go down the left side. We're aiming to bounce on the first fairway, cut through the gap between the trees, and roll out on the second fairway. Play the extra mile here with 20% downhill elevation. I use maximum topspin and maximum left spin to clear these obstacles and put myself in a really good position for the second shot. So I play the second shot as a 10% downhill Goliath rough bump. Some people will avoid the rough bump and play directly to the pin, taking the left side, and that's okay too. This second shot is very much wind dependent, and I would only choose it in crosswind conditions, so that if I hit great, there's still a chance I can hit that rough. And remember, it's a long green, so if you do go long here, there's definitely a chance that you'll be fine. Basically, I'm going to use about 3 bars of topspin here to give ourselves a very solid chance of an eagle. There is also a funnel behind the hole here that you should consider using if your clubs have enough ball guide to see it. This hole is interesting, and it's going to be fun to see how we'll play it in the tournament wind conditions. Hole 2 is another hole with multiple options to play. Either a bounce over the bunker approach or a rough bump from the top right of the middle bunker. Personally, I've always played this shot in rookie as a bounce over the bunker due to the fact that a great ball on this rough bump can spell certain disaster. You want to set up the shot here with half the red ring cutting the rough on the right, and I have traditionally played here with a Goliath at 10% elevation and a Katana or Kingmaker ball, especially for that side spin 3 attribute. And also be sure to add approximately a bar of topspin to get it to the hole, but we're going to have to see how it plays in those tournament wins. So here on hole 3, we find our first hole from the Grunberg Slopes course. This par 5 plays either to the right or left fairway, and a power 3 ball isn't necessarily required, but I've always played it with a Titan ball here. I do prefer the left side due to, I think, having less elevation to adjust for the second shot. And I adjust then here for 10% on the drive. You use maximum topspin and maximum left spin and a small amount of left curl, added together with enough overpower to get your ball as far up the second fairway as possible without going in the rough. Lower level rookie accounts, we will likely play the second shot with a Viper, but the preferred choice here for me would be to use the Sniper. Add 30% to your adjustment and at least 3 bars of backspin to get the ball to come in nicely for a very, very makeable albatross attempt. Here on hole 4, I will first show the more straightforward approach, where we basically go straight at the hole at 20% downhill elevation, set this shot up with the left edge of the red ring cutting the left rough with a Viper or Sniper and a basic ball in minimum distance. You're going to use about 3 bars of backspin. Now I would prefer to play this with at least a Marlin or Navigator to be able to set up a bit further from the rough to great proof the shot, but your mileage may vary. Note that the green here does slope from left to right, so a bar or two of left spin may be favorable here to help counter that slope. So for the rough bump shot, we also play it at 20% downhill elevation. You see me here with a basic ball, but to have a chance really to get this to the hole, you will need it the minimum a Marlin ball to have some side spin to work with. As for all par 3s, I do recommend that you use as much wind resistance as you can to lessen the effect of the wind by as much as possible. So depending on that wind, you may wish to play here with a wood club that offers some topspin as well. Maybe a bar of topspin to be sure to get this ball to the hole. I play the par 4 fifth hole reasonably aggressively due to the ability of getting the ball to land right next to the green with a successful drive. Eagle on this hole will most certainly put you ahead of the field in all but the most competitive rookie brackets. I set it up at maximum distance with half the yellow ring cutting the rough and the ball guide pointing just about on the left edge of that middle patch of rough. Using a Kingmaker ball, add maximum topspin and 4 bars of right spin. Adjust for the wind and then push it back to maximum distance. Use maximum topspin and the slightest amount of right curl. You should find yourself rolling out nicely beside the green for a short eagle chip. Of course, the tournament wind might obstruct our chances here, and we may end up having to play the more conservative techniques, but this is absolutely my preferred route. And you see, as you can see here, for the second shot, we're left with a very routine 0% wedge play. Here in this example, there is a little bit of crosswind, but all you need to do is hit perfect, and you're going to give yourself an awesome extra drop here on a otherwise difficult par 4. The second par 5 is a chance to use that big topper that's been gathering dust in your bag, or the club that you have with the most topspin. 0% elevation is required here for the drive, and I play the Kingmaker in this example, but a Titan ball is more than sufficient. Aim for the pointy shadow in the middle of the fairway, and add maximum topspin and approximately 3 bars of right spin for the drive. Adjust here for wind, and push your landing position back to maximum. Then with maximum overpower, send that ball sailing. The second shot is a rough bump played at 10% downhill elevation and a wood club with at least 3 bars of topspin, like my Sniper 6. Play it with more side spin than me so that your yellow ring isn't so perilously close to hitting the fairway and sailing over the green. But I do think even if I did miss here, it's a pretty massive green, so you would still likely be left with a very manageable third shot. Now, I do want to show you here the drive as it's played with a Berserker ball, which is the Power 5 ball that can be won for free in the Golden Shot. I do like this method a lot as it can achieve a comparable result to the first example without having to manage another overpower shot. Ultimately play here according to your preference and ball inventory, but know that this is definitely a good hole to choose if you are going to be using a Berserker in this tournament. It opens you up for a nice second shot. Hole 7 is a deceptively difficult par 3. 10% is what I play here in this example with a backbone and a basic ball. Sadly, it is difficult for me to have a solid landing position due to the lack of side spin on this basic ball. Therefore, I would say that this is a perfect opportunity to play with at least a spin 2 ball, such as a Quasar or even a Kingmaker if you're feeling spicy. Alternatively, many people will play here with a rough bump shot on this hole from the left or the right. But for me, that's difficult here in Rookie since the hole is a considerable distance from the rough and the clubs we are playing with don't have the greatest of ball guide. Now, I believe that hole 8 is a very good chance for an extra drop, as it has a lot of sand and varied fairway rough patches, but it actually sets up to be one of the easier holes of this tournament, in my opinion. I played the drive with 10% downhill elevation and apply 4 bars of topspin to this basic ball. Obviously, more wind resistance for your second shot is preferable, and I would actually recommend at least a Navigator ball here in tournament play. But you can absolutely get the Eagle with a basic ball if that's what you need to do. The second shot is a 10% uphill adjustment, that's negative 10%, with a min or mid distance short iron. Now I recommend using the short iron that you are most comfortable with and use about 1 to 2 bars of backspin to control your approach. Even here with an Apache, we are able to get it very close, but understandably with this low level ball guide, this is not the preferred club choice. However, make do with what you have. If you hit perfect, anything can happen. Set up hole 9 with a clear ring cutting the rough on both the left and the right of the fairway. Add 4 bars of topspin and max left spin with at least a marlin ball. Adjust for 10% downhill elevation and use anywhere from 50 to 100% overpower to get yourself nice and far down the fairway. While this will leave us in a nice max wood distance for the second shot, you will see that without more side spin on the ball or landing more to the left off the drive, we are not able to land squarely on the second shot and get that ball guide to the hole. So I recommend that you bring either a Katana or a Kingmaker to be sure you can position yourself as nicely as possible for another very viable albatross attempt. So set up that second shot with the right edge of the red ring touching the right rough. Add 5% downhill elevation to your adjustment here and add 1 to 2 bars of backspin and as much right spin as you need to get the ball guide aimed at the hole. Obviously, with a drive that sets up further to the left of the fairway and with more distance, this shot is definitely makeable with that marlin, but to give yourself the best possible chance, consider one of the upgraded ball choices, to have that epic hole 18 albatross. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in to my rookie walkthrough for the Extreme Hills tournament. I hope that this information can help you prepare well and shoot low on the weekend. If you have any comments or feedback, please leave them in the comments section below and I'll respond as soon as I can. And also please remember to subscribe now to join Erelic Gaming and not miss out on any of my future content. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out to show your approval. It's been my absolute pleasure to share this walkthrough with you, and I look forward to seeing you out on the course. Good luck to you in the Extreme Hills tournament.